Hey, what's up guys, it's MugenLord here, and welcome to the first video of 2024. I hope you guys had a great New Year's Day. So, today's video, we're going to be talking about AI, because for the past week, there's been a debate going back and forth for whether or not that if AI is actually good for the industry, because we already experienced it when it was first introduced into the art industry. A lot of artists felt some type of way about it. It's because of how AI art generates a lot of the images that it has, and it's not real art, which a lot of people have that debate. So now we turn around, we look at how the industries are using AI, especially now that you see shows like Disney Plus. When it came to Secret Invasion, they use AI to be able to create that intro, and there's many other examples that you have. There's also talks about an anime that's going to use AI in order to produce some of the sequences in that particular Netflix series. And then of course, right now the biggest debate was going on that happened, especially been going on for the entire week, is now that AI has found its way into localization when it comes to translating Japanese media over into the West, and it has a lot of Western localizers feeling some type of way about it. So before we dive into this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the notification bell for more gaming and entertainment content here on this channel. So we're going to dive right into it. So apparently, bonded in the comics, which we will get into right here in this article, is a lot of debate when it comes to AI, because right now it seems like that there's some Japanese publications that are now getting a hold of AI technology in order to translate and localize a lot of their content over into English or into the Western side of the world. And now a lot of Westerners, especially the Western localizers, are feeling threatened by it. Now there's three different battlefronts that's going on right here, because we already did a video in the past talking about how these Western localizers have got a hold of our favorite anime and video games, and then they interject their own politics into it, and it messes up the entire, translation and what the actual translation is supposed to be from Japanese to English, and it's written all over it. And there's a ton of examples. We'll definitely get into here in this video, and I also discussed a couple of examples in my past videos that you can also check out as well. But we have three fronts going on here, because we have the Japanese publishers using this AI for one particular reason, and then you have the gamers and everybody who's celebrating for the fact that say, yo, it's about time, we can get rid of these woke localizers out of here, and we can get the translations that we deserve. And then you have the localizers saying, hey, it's putting us out of a job. But we'll get farther into it in a bit. So in the article, it says English localizers unhappy after the ancient Magus bride announces AI human hybrid simulpubs. And then I quote, such disrespect for the substance of the original text is saddening. So in seemingly realizing that they no longer have free rein to butcher original works in service of memes or tired social political screeds, a number of English language localizers are unhappy with the Japanese publisher Bushy Roadworks' recent turn to using a combination of AI technology and human editors to produce their own English language simulpubs for Korei Yamazaki's The Ancient Magus Bride. So what I'm understanding here, it says English language simulpubs. So it seems like they're simultaneously publishing both the English and the Japanese versions, of these mangas at the same time, utilizing this technology. So from what I'm gathering is the AI technology, and they're using it, and then they have an editor to go over top of the English translator to make sure everything is in place. That's what I'm gathering from here. So it says it was first announced on December 12th. This new hybrid translation endeavor will see Bushy Works utilize Mantra Codes, manga and webtoon specific mantra translation engine, and the editorial skills of human translator to produce simultaneously simulpubs, all of which the publisher hopes will help tamper down on the series' widespread piracy by overseas readers. This is what I want to talk about here, because it seems like that these publishers are doing this for one particular reason, while we have the other side, which is the consumers, who are tired of the localization and what the Western localizers are doing, thinking that these studios are doing it for their reasons. And then you have the localizers who are just upset, saying, hey, yo, like, what's going on? Like, you guys are going to put us out of a job. So, as I digress. So, as such, thanks to their coverage being one of the most widespread across social media, Western critics near universally misinterpreted this announcement as confirmation that the publisher will only be using the former resources and not the latter. So they pretty much give you examples of how the translation works and everything right here, and then how they have somebody go over top of it to make sure everything is correct. So it says, but instead of considering whether they could combat the advent of AI hybrid simulpubs by focusing on better quality translations, a large number of Western-based Japanese to English localizers, many whom have themselves inserted their own American politics into Japanese media, proceeded to, ironically enough, denounce Bushiroad's work announcements as an insult to the series' original text. Well, that's funny. He said the insult to the original text, but then when you translate it, you don't respect the original text. Instead, you just pretty much incorporate your own politics into it. You see how silly and how stupid that sounds when it comes to that? So we have somebody right here named Andrew Steiner. Hodgson says, such disrespect for the substance of the original text is saddening, especially with a series as thoughtful as this one. Corporate greed knows no bound, of course. It's funny to me also that the official tweet announcing this only mentions the AI part in Japanese. Shameless. And these are the same people who pretty much would take the Japanese text and don't respect the original and then bastardize it with their own translation, and they interject their own personal politics and bias into it, but then says that this move and this announcement that they made is disrespectful to the original text. You can't make this stuff up. It's just a joke that writes itself. And then we have another one, Jacqueline Fung. Speed isn't the issue. You can't find good translator with quick speeds. This is so disrespectful it hurts. But this is the problem. We don't have any high quality translators at this point. You know, there's some out there, but now it's getting worse and worse as we get farther into this censorship. We're getting farther into this social political aspect, where now a lot of these Western studios are hiring a lot of these social activists, because that's what they are. They're not even localizers. They're social activists who are now taking over these positions, taking over these jobs, and then they take the translation from Japanese to English, and then they input their own politics. So this is pretty much a self-fulfilling prophecy, and this is now a result, well, partially the result of a lot of the things they've been doing up until now. And then we have Michelle Knotts. Save your money and use Google Translate instead, because that's what's going to look like. And that's far from the truth, because as they said before, we have the AI technology which they're using is to translate the text, and then they still have an editor, which is a human, to go over top of it to make sure that everything is there. Because as you would know, is that the simple fact is the AI still isn't perfect yet. There's still a lot of errors, even in the art industry, when AI produce extra fingers and stuff like that. But even when it comes to this right here, when it comes to translation, it's still not perfect, which means you still need a human to go over top of it. So we also go to Niche Gamer, because Niche Gamer also covers this as well, that elaborates more on this. Now we have another localizer. It says, in Bondi in the comics, localizers upset over the Ancient Magus Bride manga's AI translation. So it says localizers have been upset over the recent news of the series The Ancient Magus Bride getting a simultaneous English AI translation. So here are some of the tweets. Now this comes from Katrina, another Western localizer, and she pretty much essentially says, I don't have words for how embarrassing and disappointing this is. Instead of paying a human to do a quality job, they are using AI to get a mediocre product for free. Is this how little they think of English speaking audience of translation? For shame. And that's crazy. It says he's calling the AI translation mediocre product. But then you look at what the Western localizers are giving us, that's even below with their mediocre, what they're calling the AI. They're giving below that they're claiming or whatever like that. And it's just funny how it's just they don't understand what they're saying and how stupid that look. It says machine translation, continue from Katrina, machine translation isn't smart enough to handle audio-visual work like TV, movies, anime, manga, etc. I wrote an entire essay about it back in January 21st, but that fact remains even now in 2023. So it says audio-visual translators are already criminally underpaid, both due to the intrusion of machine translation in the field as a whole and the demand to work in the entertainment industry. At least show your fans and creators more respect by giving them a human translation. And that's the thing. They using a human to edit it and go over it, so some work still needs to be done on it, so there's still a human behind that. But as I said before, as we digress, the company comes out and pretty much explained the whole situation of why they're using this AI technology. And this is where the point I want to get to when it comes to this is, because I think this is a very important component here before I give you my overall thoughts in this situation. To clarify, this is from the company themselves. To clarify information that has been spread, I would like to provide some additional information. Firstly, regarding AI-assisted translation, we have implemented a system from Mantra Corporation. This system combines their unique machine translation technology with the editing and proofreading by professional translators. Next, about the purpose of simulcast distribution. Unofficial translations are sometimes released for free and circulate as pirated versions. Illegal manga piracy sites that publish these cause serious harm to the manga culture and industry, both domestically and internationally. The ancient Magus Bride has also continuously suffered from such damages. Initiatives like the one we are undertaking now have been proven effective in reducing piracy damage, as demonstrated by precedent cases with Shueisha's work. Finally, regarding books produced and licensed officially by foreign publishers, if there are any forms from various companies, they will continue to be considered, and if conditions are met, publications will proceed as before. The situation remains unchanged. So they wanted to make that unclear. So this is what's happening here, because then we have people on Twitter who left their opinions on here, who are pretty much on the localizer side, the Western localizer side more specifically. You have people saying that paid translators to translate and editors to edit. Machine translation is bad and paying translators to edit makes no sense. They are still having to translate. All this does is add another layer and it alienates the audience. I don't know how it alienates the audience. I really don't know how it does that. And then you have everybody who's pretty much telling them do not buy from them, boycott them. You know, this is wrong, it's putting people out of work, or it's going to potentially put people out of work. But then, like I said, you have a whole group of people celebrating that, you know, in reaction to the affirmation string of tweets, many were not all forgiving of the localizers' plights. So you have people in counteracting that, saying that scared that AI will actually just do the translation instead of fixing content, and adding unfunny jokes is finally becoming a thing. And then you have Hugh Man. He said they be getting a mediocre job by paying localizers too. This is way cheaper. Can't wait till all the woke localizers go broke for doing a disservice to the fans. If only translators wouldn't try to fix the content they are translating, especially Japanese work, that make it to Western audience. So this is the thing. People are saying time for a career change, get those resumes ready and everything like that. So I just want to give you just my thoughts on this for a second. Is the fact is that we have three fronts that's going on here, and we have to ask ourselves, like, I want to ask you guys, at what point when it comes to AI are we pushing the line here? Because as I said, people are getting tired of this nonsense from Western activists who took over a lot of our favorite industries: gaming, Hollywood, entertainment, and also when it comes to our anime and stuff like that, that's interjecting their politics. The chickens had come home to roost in this situation for the simple fact is now, after all this has been done, you know, now they're going to feel the brunt of a lot of their actions. But then you look at the industry as a whole, the industry is trying to combat piracy. So you see this revolving door, because you have fans who actually enjoy the content when it comes to manga, when it comes to anime, or this, that, and third, they go out and go to the piracy in order for them to be able to enjoy a lot of the content that's out there, especially when you have fan subs who actually tries to translate it much better than your Western localizers. But at the same time, while you're trying to avoid these Western localizers, now you put a defense up from these publications to actually create AI or utilize AI in order to pretty much simultaneously put out an English translation and then the Japanese official version out at the same time in order to alleviate that situation when it comes to piracy. Because like I said, when you pirate or whatever like that, you're not really helping out, the artists who did all the work to write, to draw it, and the writers who wrote the story and stuff. And then you have the localizers on this side that's getting the burn from it too. But it's just crazy. It's a revolving door where all three sides are pretty much responding to one another. Western localizers screws over the fans, so the fans will go over pirate. They go over and pirate. The publications see it and say, hey, this is hurting our product, especially we have a great product out here, and it's hurting our writers, it's hurting our artists, and everything like that, because people's getting the free version instead of going out supporting. So now we got to create this AI or utilize AI to combat that by putting out the English version alongside the official release. So by creating the AI, it hurts the Western localizers, because what do you need them for? So it's like a cycle. It's like it was a revolving door that's going on within the industry, and that's why I want to ask you guys: do you think this is a good thing? Like, when is it going too far to pretty much utilize AI? Do you think localization, when you're starting to have that as a profession, do you think this is going to be a dying profession over time as AI begin to get better and better? Like, will you need localizers anymore as the technology get better? And as I said this before, it is a double-edged sword, because we have these Western localizers who ruined it for everybody, because I know there's probably people out there who always wanted to be a localizer, like who legitimately want to do it, who has a passion for it and want to do that job. But if AI continues to get better, will it be necessary to even, hire people to do this anymore? So that it hurts the people who really wants to do it. But there really is no real answer to this. It's pretty much, what do you believe? So I'm gonna leave it at that. Definitely hear your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think about this? AI officially or at some capacity being used to translate a lot of Japanese media moving forward, and eventually is going to be adopted into other industries or other foreign countries that have their stuff translated more efficiently as the technology get better. So what are your thoughts about it? Do you think this is what Western localizers deserve, or do you think this is something that was bound to happen regardless of Western localizers or not? So let me know in the comment sections below. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe button for more gaming content, and I guess you should say culture war content here on this channel. This is MugenLord signing off. I'll see you game fiends later. Peace out.